Good day to everyone who's already joined. I'm just going to give it a minute or two in case there's anyone joining on the hour, and then we'll start off with the presentation. In the meantime, there are some PDFs attached in the chat section of the webinar, and in there, all the slides are attached, as well as some further info about Wherehouse, the platform that we're going to chat about, and all the kind of tools and solutions that it provides marketplace sellers. So you're welcome to download those for further use and for next steps after the session, if there's anything you'd like to delve into deeper. Just confirming that you can all see and hear me. If someone will give me a thumbs up on the chat section, that will be appreciated. Awesome, thanks. Cool. I see there are a couple more people who have joined. I'm going to kick it off and start going through the slides. We can always loop back with questions if there's anything that we need to reiterate or go through again. Okay, so Wherehouse is a multi-marketplace platform. It's an online-based platform. There's a mobile app, there's an online dashboard, but in the end, it is an integration platform that runs in the background and supports everything you do as a seller on multiple sales channels and on multiple marketplaces. We've been doing this for quite a while. The software has been running for about 3.5 years, and we've partnered with really some of South Africa's best brands and marketplace distributors who've been selling on marketplaces for years. We're servicing around 200 of these top sellers across marketplaces. So we've really seen some of the problems that sellers face and how to really add value to those sellers to ensure that their marketplace journeys really shape up to be lucrative and successful and admin and worry-free. So Wherehouse is a whole host of solutions, but what we've seen is across all the sellers, there are a couple of things that pop up where they really struggle with that prevents them from reaching their full potential on the marketplace. And Amazon is no different. Amazon being a new entry to the marketplace in SA, some of these things are more prominent than others, but the challenge life cycle across all these sellers will stay the same. So initially, we're finding that sellers are struggling with listing products. So that's getting the products, my catalog, onto this marketplace so that the customers coming to that marketplace can find effectively and then purchase those goods. So that's what on Amazon is really currently a struggle for sellers because it's a new marketplace and because you need to go full in your catalog. After that, we're seeing that now your goods are ready to sell, but you need to keep the information fresh and updated and live on the sales channel, especially if you currently already sell to retail and you already sell to B2B. You've got multiple inventory locations, you've got multiple online stores or marketplaces that you're servicing. We're finding that then keeping those listings up to date and fresh with offers, which is the stock and the pricing information, and ensuring that all your business logic and rules apply. That's the next problem that comes up. After that, you're now making the sales, your offers are live, and they have the correct information. Now you're making orders for those sales, which is great. Everyone hopes for those. But if the floodgates open, especially in a peak trading month, knowing what to pick and pack and then how to send it to all these sales channels, because you're not just selling to one place, but you're selling to multiple, and they've each got their own SLAs and processes, ensuring that all of that gets centralized and that there's a process that you can tick the box as these items are flowing through in a way that's consolidated. You need to get that in place, especially when we're talking 100 orders a day and up. And that's where all sellers want to be. So you have to be thinking about those kinds of problems and be ready for when that wave comes. After that's happened, maybe at the end of the week or at the end of the month, there's an accounting problem and a reporting problem that comes up, which is to see which sales channels are doing well, and how are the fees for the marketplaces affecting me? Am I pricing right? Do I have enough inventory for the next month? What's my sell-through rate? And when should I send items to the DCs and to replenish stock? So it's all of these things that we've identified sellers struggle with when they list on multiple marketplaces. But there's so much value in listing on all of these sales channels because it just gets more people and eyeballs on your product listing. And a platform like Amazon just comes with such a big brand name and such a great platform that really lures in customers. So you want to be listed on there, and these problems should not stand in your way of listing on all marketplaces. So Wherehouse, as a solution and as a tool, aims to solve for all of these. And with 200 really successful sellers, we've already made some great progress, and most of these processes are almost fully automated, and they can get to do business as usual. They get to sell on the marketplace and really just get the right product, get it in front of the customers, and get sales going, while Wherehouse does the rest in the background. So as a software tool, this is what we're focusing on, and we've seen some great results, sellers really growing after they've solved for these problems. Today, we're going to look at listing specifically, which in Amazon's world is currently the #1 big problem, because you might have been already selling on other platforms, or you might be new to selling, and then getting used to this new way of providing product information on Amazon is what most sellers are struggling with. And we're busy building out really great solutions that'll help with this and automate this process so that you can get your products on quicker and hopefully really be in peak trading this year still, instead of needing to employ many people and all the admin hours of getting your products listed onto Amazon. So just to do some clarification, when we say listing, what does that mean? Across all marketplaces, there exists the concept of a listing and an offer, and it's two separate things that come together to then make what we're calling the product sales page, which is where the customer purchases the item. So initially, the listing needs to be provided to Amazon, and that's what they display to the customer. That's what the customer makes purchasing decisions on. So in listing lies attributes like images and the title and the dimensions and anything specific to that product that will stay the same across anyone selling that item. This is what defines the item. Then what gets attached to that listing is a seller's offer, which is the price and the availability that that seller can fulfill the goods by. So to say, I have this product that I'm willing to sell at this price with this lead time kind of fulfillment spec, and I've got this amount of goods to sell. So many sellers' offers could be attached to one listing on the Amazon catalog. Now, Amazon has got some quite strict and rigorous QC processes that they take product listing through. And you can see why. They need to be really clear on what they're selling to the customer, and they want that customer to have the best experience when they're making purchasing decisions and browsing for products and searching for products on Amazon. So that initial process, that once-off process of listing the product attributes, is really something that they focus on, and the quality of that listing is something that Amazon really ensures is high. That is a very important step, and while it is labor intensive and a big admin overhead for the seller, at least initially, this is very, very good for the quality of catalog on Amazon, and that's what's going to ensure that they get really good sales and they get customers to purchase the goods and be satisfied with the product that they have received. It is this listing part that is labor intensive and that we are finding ways to fully automate. From there, pricing and stock availability needs to be updated pretty much in real time, because you're selling on multiple marketplaces, you're selling on multiple online stores. So if an item sells on your Shopify store, Amazon needs to know, listen, I've got one less item to sell, and it needs to know pretty much immediately, especially in peak trading, if someone is purchasing on all of these channels at the same time. You don't want to oversell and make an overcommitment. So those kinds of things, or a central place to update your stock and pricing, that's updating the offer. That's also something that Wherehouse can automate for you and link up to your existing systems. But that part we'll speak about at a later stage. It's really the listing part that we're going to delve into a little bit deeper in this presentation. Cool. So if we look at the product sales page of Amazon, this is an example of what the customer would see, right? Everything marked in orange, so images, title, attributes, and the description, that's what we refer to when we say listing. It's the price and the availability at that top right-hand corner, which is the offer. So initially, getting all of this product information up onto Amazon is what we're focusing on now. Okay, so there's two things that could happen when you want to now add your product onto Amazon. There's two flows that could kick off or that could happen. The easier one, the one that you're hoping for, is that within Amazon's master catalog of product data, they already have your product listed. Something like what's on screen here, an Apple iPhone 14, a 128 gigabyte in Starlight. All of the product attributes have already been captured within Amazon. It's already stored in the catalog. At that point, what you need to do is to find that product within Amazon's catalog. And then from there, you will get the Amazon ASIN, which is the identifier for that product. You can then take that and attach an offer to that product and keep that offer updated, at which point your item will sell. So in terms of getting this going, if this were one product, you could just go to Amazon, search iPhone 14, find the right variation and add your offer. And pretty much immediately, you're good to go, you're ready to sell. The problem comes in when you have 1,000 offers to try and add to these existing ASINs. Now it becomes a labor-intensive and admin-intensive process for you to go and find all of these specific ASINs on Amazon. So Wherehouse has built utilities within our system where we can take your product data and ingest it into our system. And from there, we will use an AI engine to then find on the Amazon catalog the products that match your existing products, get the correct ASINs, attach an offer, and keep those updated from your source systems. So we could take this from a couple of days of needing to find the correct products to pretty much instantly via systems find and attach to Amazon listings and keep those offers updated in real time and really get you selling quite quickly. That's best case scenario where the items which you're selling are already available on the Amazon catalog. In scenario two, where maybe you're selling a branded good or you're manufacturing an item or the item that you're bringing in has not yet been listed on Amazon, and you need to get this on to the Amazon catalog before you can create an offer. This is where it needs to go through the QC process. This is where you need to provide Amazon with a whole host of product attributes. And it could really be quite daunting if you're trying to do this completely manually. So initially what you'd need to do as a seller is you'd need to get those product attributes in a central location. So you'll maybe download exports from your website, from other marketplaces, bring all of this together into a sheet. And from there, you need to go find what brands and categories of products do you have? And you have to work with Amazon to ensure that you're allowed to sell this brand on the marketplace. They protect brands and ensure only the right distributors get to distribute that brand. If you can prove to them that you are a distributor for this brand, then you can sell those goods. Or perhaps you could get brand exemption to say, actually, for this brand, I might not be the distributor, but in SA, I've got the rights to do so. Or you can apply for a completely generic brand exemption where you're selling goods that aren't necessarily branded with an internationally recognized brand. So that's a process you kick off with Amazon. The next process that you need to do with them is to ensure that the products have barcodes. They call it a GTIN, the global identifier that across all marketplaces is the same. That barcode is usually registered against your actual company and brand, and that listing then, that barcode is submitted when you list a product on Amazon. Now, again, not everyone have barcodes, and not all of the barcodes are valid barcodes, and not all of the barcodes are necessarily registered against your company, or perhaps the goods that you're selling don't really warrant barcodes. So there is a process to then register for exemption with Amazon, and they will have a look at your case and perhaps approve that process, at which point you can then sell the goods. After you've done all of those exemptions and registrations with Amazon, at that point, you now take your product information and translate it into a format that Amazon wants, and you can upload those products to them either via their seller dashboard or via sheets that you upload to their seller dashboard, and then you wait for the quality control to pass, and then only can you attach your offer. So as you can see, this process if you've got 5 branded products, maybe you can do this manually. But if you're looking at 1,000 offers, or if you're looking at hundreds that you're adding every month, then the admin intensity to get these products listed is really quite high. So again, this is where Wherehouse steps in and solves for most of these steps, and we've got solutions to really help you with all of this. So a case that might happen is a seller onboards onto our platform, and they connect their other marketplaces, they connect their other sales channels, online stores, ERPs, Google Sheets, accounting, everything into our platform, and we consolidate all of the product information into Wherehouse, into a central dashboard. We then have all of that information normalized, and we have an AI engine to then transfer that into the schema that Amazon needs to get a product listed with them. Still, you need those brand exemptions. Still, you need to get your barcodes ready. Again, we've got tools that take all of your product information from the multiple channels. We then spit those out to get the combination of brands and categories that you might need GTIN exemptions for. And we'll do the application on your behalf to Amazon to get those exemptions going. And as soon as they're ready with that, our system can automate the process of translating the data into Amazon's language and getting the product submitted for QC. Once we get feedback from them and the products have been listed, offers are attached and products are live. So just from an admin perspective, we're taking days and months of human work and turning that into computer work, and having the product data, which you already have available on your other sales channels, into a valuable set of data that can be reused to then list onto Amazon. So for the technical inclined, here's an example of what you could be looking at, right? So you've got multiple marketplaces, you've got an online store, and on them you have the product data that Amazon requires. You've got the title, you've got the brand, you've got the color data, you've got bullet points of information. The problem is they need it into a different format. And so now you've got everything, but the admin intensity to get this into their format is just not possible for a human. But a computer can do this really nicely. And that's exactly what Wherehouse has gone out and built. So if you look at this example screenshot, we've taken a product and we've connected all of the seller's marketplace data, and we've brought in the brands and the attributes and the dimensions from all of these marketplaces all into one central location. And from here, we can kick off the process to get that product listed onto Amazon, to get the data translated into the format that they require, and to get all the exemptions done and automate the listing process of taking the attributes you already have and pushing them onto the marketplace. If you don't currently have marketplace accounts or an online store, we can connect to sources as simple as a Google Sheet. So if you've got the right kind of attributes in there, we can bring that into Wherehouse as well, and then use that data to get onto a listing on Amazon. So just again, Wherehouse as a central location can connect to all of your sales channels, all of your existing business platforms in terms of inventory and accounting, and bring all of that product information together into a central location, do the right work to transform that into what Amazon needs, and then publish the product onto Amazon, when it can take your process from months to days. So that is the product listing process. And within there's many things that need to happen, and there's really a deep dive that could happen in each one of these things. And we're not going to share all of that on this session, but we're very keen to partner with you guys and walk you through what needs to be done to get your products ripe and ready for Amazon. So if you go to our website, a form that you can fill in to get in contact with us and kind of tell us, where is your business at today? What accounts do you have linked? Which marketplaces are you selling on? Where's your product information? And we can really guide you as to how best to bring that into our system, transform it, and get it ready for Amazon so that you can get listed on Amazon and start selling on Amazon. After you've done that and your products are listed and live and selling, we go back to those initial cycle of problems. What you're going to face is that keeping inventory up to date on multiple sales channels and fulfilling orders when they're coming in from a whole host of different places, and then ensuring that your reports and accounting make sense at the end of the month. That's your next problem. So we're not going to delve into that too deep here, but just know that Wherehouse has really, really deep integrations with the leading inventory platforms like Sin7, like Zoho, and also with accounting software like Xero, and we can automate the full flow. So say an order comes into Amazon, we can create an invoice in Xero, and we can actually subtract the Amazon marketplace fees on that invoice so that you get your actual net profit after fees, after cost of goods, and you get a really accurate view of how you're doing on each sales channel. And you can report per sales channel, so you can see how Amazon is tracking against your Shopify store, etc. So really, Wherehouse is this all-in-one platform that allows you to sell everywhere without the admin overhead taking over and making it a mess and difficult to really sell on all these sales channels. That allows you to capitalize on all the sales channels and all of the ad spend that these marketplaces are having, and have the ability to capitalize on all of their clients that are coming to their website, so that your products are there and ready to sell on all of your sales channels without the admin overhead or without overselling. So that, in a nutshell, is Wherehouse and how we solve for multi-marketplace selling and how we solve for Amazon listing, and the rigorous but important process that Amazon has with listing product. So if there's any further questions, you're welcome to leave those in the chat below, and I'll try to answer them either on video here if they're quick. Otherwise, we'll get back to you on the chat. And then also just in the chat again, we've got PDF docs over there with more information, next steps, and all of the slides on here if there's anything that you'd like to revisit. So I'm going to give it a minute or two for questions, and I'll take it from there. I see a couple of people typing, so I'm just waiting for those. Got a question there regarding pricing for the service. It's on our website, and you really get to opt in based off of the modules that you require and based off of the platforms that you're connecting and the order volumes and scale your business is at. So it's difficult to say. It starts off really easy to get into. We've got plans starting at 399 Rand for reporting and analytics kind of visibility dashboard. And we've got plans at 979 Rand inclusive of that for full syncing and automation. And then you can pick and choose the kind of components that you need in your business. So on our website, we make that quite clear, the tiers and how to match all of that up. So you can click through to there to have really accurate information. But it grows with your business. So you get to start off with a plan that suits you, and as it grows, you can go from there. I've got a, do you provide dedicated assistance? So we're quite a hands-on team in terms of onboarding sellers onto our platform. We definitely look at a deep commitment with our sellers. So when you sign up to our platform, you'll see we're going to take you through a hands-on demo. We're going to really sit with you and understand your business and where your data is currently, and bring all of that in. So from a technical perspective, but also just from a consulting perspective, we spend quite a bit of time during onboarding to ensure we understand your business and we understand how we can provide maximum value to what we can solve for your business and really get you onto all these marketplaces. So I would say, yes, it's quite a hands-on service. It's not a set it and forget it self-service. And then once it's running, you'll see it becomes business as usual. And then you get to really just trade and everything hums in the background. I've got a question about products being rejected from the Amazon side, pictures having issues from Amazon, even though they haven't actually had issues, and some other rejections, just generally products not getting through QC. Listen, this is the nature of the beast. Amazon definitely is quite rigorous on getting product listing live and active. We've also seen edge cases where product information that's submitted is correct but doesn't go through QC. At least we've got a direct line of communication with Amazon to work through those, and we've got those resolved for sellers. And then also you can just think about it. If while this process of submitting a listing, getting a rejection, fixing what needs to be fixed, and relisting, while you can't necessarily circumvent that due to the nature of it, automating this process through a software like Wherehouse can make that process just so much shorter. So now you can go from submitting, getting feedback, and submitting to hours instead of days, and that just will help you there. But we can also, from our side, we've seen quite a few of the exceptions, and we've seen quite a few of the things that sellers struggle with. So our team will be well equipped to tell you beforehand if there's anything from the images perspective. For example, if you've got text on the image, the main image should only have a white background, things like that. We've got experience with and can help you through. And then we've also got some tech and tools to normalize data. So for example, if your image is not a square, but Amazon wants a square, we can automatically resize that when we're submitting the product to their platform. So things like that can really make it quite easy. So the process on Amazon stays the process. We don't circumvent that. We do believe the quality of data is important. However, by automating many of these steps with tech, we make this a much more seamless process and one that you don't pull out all your hairs for. I see 2 more questions coming in, so I'm just waiting for those. Would you be able to optimize our products to ensure they look better and potentially increase sales? So I'm going to assume that there's a product listing already live on Amazon, but that product listing is perhaps not perfect in terms of SEO, in terms of getting the customer to purchase. So again, our system will collate and consolidate all of the product information together into a central dashboard. So when we connect your Amazon account, we'll bring in all the product attributes into our central dashboard. And we've got some reports on that to then help you find gaps. So we can, for example, give you a score on your catalog across all sales channels to see, listen, actually, there's these attributes that really make a difference when selling that maybe you have missing, or maybe you have really short answers and could use some AI tools to rewrite descriptions and make them really interesting. So that's something that can be reported on and analyzed after the fact, and our system can do that. Also, when you're initially creating the listing, or when we submit a listing for you, all of the product information gets piped through an optimization algorithm, and it goes through an AI layer that will rehash that so that it's exactly in the format that the marketplace wants in terms of a technical schema, but also in terms of optimization. So if your description is really short, but this marketplace prefers a longer description with the features, header, and bullet points, it'll be reformatted into that way per marketplace that we're pushing to. So I would say yes, we can optimize products that are already listed, or at least report on them, and we can optimize products when they get pushed through to the marketplace as well. Just for everyone else, I have added in our email address to the chat, hello@wherehouse.co.za. If you've got any questions lingering after the session that doesn't get answered here, you can just pop us an email over there and someone on the team will get back to you. As I've also said, we are a multi-marketplace tool, so we could help with other marketplaces as well. If you've got any questions regarding any other marketplaces, or how perhaps your existing systems could interface with Amazon. So if you're doing your inventory on your Shopify online store, how to best get that to work with Amazon. We've got a whole host of write-ups and documentation and blogs, content on really getting this sorted out. We like taking hands with each seller and understanding what your current business flow is like and how to best optimize for marketplace. So get in touch with how your business looks like today, and we can let you know how we think we could really solve for and improve your online selling experience. Cool. It looks to me like questions have subsided. I'm going to leave the email there, and you can chat to us there if there's anything further. I'm going to end the session. There will be a survey right after. If there's anything we'd prefer we'd appreciate some feedback on the session, just to understand for future webinars what kind of content you guys would prefer and how best to deliver that to you. Otherwise, get in contact with us at the website or on that email address that I've submitted there, and we'll get in touch and work with you. And I'm hoping to grow with all of you on your marketplace journeys. Thanks for your time. Cheers.